Alright, and welcome back to the Nasty Metal Production channel here at YouTube. Of course, here I am with the top 10 best rock and metal albums of 2016. So, with that, let's not waste any time. Coming in at number 10 is Hellstar's newest album, Vampiro. What a killer album from Hellstar, and this is definitely went back to that classic sound that definitely was present on Remnants of War, A Distant Thunder, and Nosferatu. And of course, this could be seen as like maybe the part 2 of Nosferatu. Just a killer album, and definitely shows why Hellstar was definitely one of the best US power metal bands of the 1980s. Great album, great hooks, great riffage and everything. And of course, James Rivera was definitely in tip form. Great album from Hellstar. I definitely can't say anything bad about it. And when I reviewed it, it was a great album. Alright, so coming in at number 9. Another, again, this was a good year for thrash metal, and this album definitely was surprisingly the best of the crop. This, of course, is a old school thrash metal band out of Australia. These guys could have been considered Australia's answer to the Slayer, but they really, according to, of course, the member of the band, he definitely doesn't. This, of course, coming in number 9 is Hobbs, Angel of Death. In a way, probably his comeback album, Heaven Bled. What a killer album that really kind of shows a little bit of a new and still retaining old sound. Peter Hobbs definitely had a bit of a different sound than Slayer. This album really, even at times, it slays the crap out of Repentless. Just even from pretty much songs such as, I think I got the book right here. I know, a little bad, but here you go. Here we go. Yeah, just like Final Feast and Suicide and Depopulation. Those 3 songs alone really just slay the crap out of anything that was off of Repentless. Fucking killer album from Hobbs, Angel of Death. They definitely got the number 9 slot here in the top 10. You know, part of this video. So, coming in at number 8, of course, is the debut album from, of course, ex-members of, well, The Gates of Slumber. This, of course, is Wretch's debut album, which was released through Battleman Records. By the second thing on here from Battleman Records, with, of course, Spell's, album as well, For None and All. I think that was what it was titled. Wow, forgetting them. Yeah, Saw a Slab of Doom Metal. There really hasn't been a whole lot of Doom that I've heard this year, maybe besides maybe Black Sabbath's The End, which they really, Black Sabbath, one of the first and probably the creators of Doom Metal, and this album owes a debt to Black Sabbath. It's very much Sabbath sounding. And of course, they do have a sound that's very close to like Saint Vitus and Pentagram. It's definitely within that. It's a great solid slab of Doom Metal. It has a really cool cover of Judas Priest's Winter, a very criminally underrated track off a criminally underrated album that is titled Rock'n'Roller, which is Judas Priest's debut. It's a killer album from Wretch. And I definitely look forward to anything they have, and I will also still try my best to go back and listen to the Gates of Slumber stuff. It's a good album from Wretch. And of course, this album was also as a tribute to one of their members, which... Jason McCash, who was, of course, was from The Gates of Summer. This album was definitely a tribute to him. Great album from Wretch. Coming in at number 7 is, of course, a band that was pretty new to me, but you know what? It was good. This, of course, is Italian-owned Barbarian. As their 3rd and newest album titled Cult of the Empty Grave. This album is, of course, still almost on the thrash side at times. It's very extreme metal sounding, but the thing is, they kind of mix a lot of epic metal, a la Omen. Really some great riffs on here, great stuff. It's lyrics really not about Satan or anything. It's more about, you know, but the cover looks Vikings and shit. Yeah. Go Vikings or some sort of, you know, just like that. What do you expect? Good album from Omen. So I wasn't trying to make a sports reference or some shit, more like Vikings and shit, you know. That's what I was trying to go for. Don't take it the sports way. Alright? Even if you're a fan. Alright, so coming in at number 6. There definitely have been quite a bit of new wave of British heavy metal bands to release stuff here in 2016. Quartz, Tigers of Pantang, and yeah. As far, and of course there's another one that's going to be in this list, but here coming in at number 6 is of course probably one of the most influential new wave of British heavy metal bands, and that's Diamond Head's newest album. And what a return to form for this album. This album, it could have been released right after Borrowed Time. What a killer album that, in my opinion, and probably one of my favorite Diamond Head albums since Borrowed Time. It probably would make the top 3 slot, because while Light in the Nations would make my top 1 favorite, you know, Diamond Head album, this album is definitely would make the number 3 slot. This is a killer album. A lot of great riffs from Brian Tatler. Everything about this. This is just a killer album from Diamond Head, and it's a return to form nonetheless. Alright, so coming in at number 5 now. This is definitely the top 5 part of this list. Coming in at number 5 is Metal Church's XI, or X1 is, or titled 11, because this is definitely Metal Church's 11th album, but also, their 3rd album for, or 4th actually, excuse me, the 4th album for returning. Oh fuck, what a, completely making an ass out of myself, god damn it. Mike Howe, while his name left me. Can't always, you know, remember everything. We're only human. But yeah, this was Return from Mike Howe, and what a good performance from him on this. Now, this is definitely a song, just with like again in my review, each time I listen to this, it just gets better. This is a solid album from Metal Church, and definitely one of their best albums in probably years, probably. Definitely since, you know, even their classic period with David Wayne. Just a good album from Metal Church, and definitely one that definitely deserves the top 5 slot. So, there you have it with that. So, now it's time on to the next one. Coming in at number 4. You might not be very happy with this because apparently, even though it's my list, but coming in at number 4 is, of course, is Airborne's Breaking Out of Hell. This, of course, was their newest album from this year. For me, upon you know, getting this album in the mail, I played the crap out of this album, and it still tends to be on rotation. Just a killer slab of hard rock / metal. This is probably the most heavy metal thing that Airborne has released. It's definitely, it's very 80s sounding. It's got a little good hooks. That's the one thing. The hooks are really there. Even a song such as Do Me Like You Do Yourself has like a infectious hook to it that at times reminds me a lot of Helix. It definitely would have fit on like albums such as No Rest for the Wicked, or the album after that, Walking on the Razor's Edge, I think. I don't know. I think that might have been the call that. I don't know. But still, this is a solid album from Airborne. Definitely, and of course it's very AC/DC sounding, or their sound was very much like a mixture between, you know, AC/DC and Rose Tattoo, especially with songs such as When I drink, I go crazy, which is very rose tattoo sounding, and of course, Thin the Blood. Probably the most song that really kind of pushes it to almost being considered speed metal. This is definitely a killer album from Airborne. Of course, I really like this one very much. And of course, the song I'm Going to Hell for this, heavy track on this album. And at times, it's definitely close to that riffage that you would expect from, you know, like Dirty Deeds Thunder Cheap. And at times, it has a little bit of something you might even would expect from even like Accept. Just a killer track and a killer album from Airborne. Good album. Alright, so coming at number 3, like I said, Diamond Head is the only new wave or British heavy metal band to make my top 10 list. And this was definitely one of the best of the, you know, the crop when it comes to new wave or British heavy metal bands releasing new material here in 2016. But of course, coming in at number 3 is Vardis's comeback album titled Red Eye. What a killer album, and it's definitely still, it's easily just as good, or at times maybe a little better than some of the stuff from the 80s, even though that's almost can be considered blasphemy. But this is such a killer album from Vardis. Every bit of this, even the song Paranoia Strikes, is such a heavy track, and the album is definitely still retains that classic Vardis sound, with of course adding much more of a heavy 70s sound to it. It's a killer album nonetheless. It definitely deserved to be on my top 10 list. Killer album nonetheless. Now, coming in at number 2 is of course Attacker's Sins of the World. Now, there have been some great classic stuff from classic new US power metal bands from this year, such as Metal Church, which made my top 10 here, made number 5. Of course, we saw, we definitely saw quite a bit. That's all I can say. Of course, you know, this is definitely better, way better than Omen. But still, we saw quite a bit of great stuff. Of course, I'm forgetting about Hellstar and Vicious Rumors, but Attacker's Sins of the World is probably the best of the crop. Everything about this album is what you really expect from Attacker, even though this is a bit more, almost reminding me a lot of Hellstar as well. Just everything about this album is just damn well solid, very well put together, and just definitely, at this point, I can't really say I've heard anything bad from Attacker. It's a great album nonetheless, and it definitely deserved the number 2 slot. So, that's just that. It got the number 2 slot. What did get the number 1 slot? When I was, you know, listening to stuff, you know, to put this together, you know, re-listening, whatever, to see which one still, you know, retains its magic, which one doesn't, you know, which one, you know, just to, so I can be able to put together a list, which slot that album would make due to re-listening or whatever. However, this album still ended up retaining every bit of its magic when I first heard it within 2016. And that's the album that's playing in the background. Baphomet's Bloods and Satan We Trust. I've been a fan of Baphomet's Blood for a long time now. Ever since 2010, I've enjoyed everything that they had released. You know, Satanic Metal Attack, Second Strike, Metal Damnation. Even I kind of liked a little bit of that Back from the Fire EP, but it just wasn't as good as their past 3 albums. And being such a fan and liking the attitude that they brought, I was waiting for something new from them. And back in 2015, when I heard that they were going to record a new album, I was stoked. And right when I heard it was finished, and I saw the name title, and I knew about it. But the minute they finally said the date that it was going to be released, I couldn't wait. So by the time of early this year, I think January is when this was released. Right around the time as Megadeth's Dystopia I definitely had to listen to this, and it was definitely was going to be one of the first reviews of 2016. But I wasn't expecting for what was going to be dropped on me. This album pretty much hit me like a fucking ton of bricks. It slammed me like a complete freaking truck to a fucking wall. For me, it's a wrecking ball. It just came right through my house, fucking hit me to the point where I was probably slinged all the way up to the fucking moon. I didn't expect the sound to be that damn good because of due to the fact of how, you know, I knew it was going to be a good album. It was going to be better than the Back from the Fire EP, but I didn't expect it to be that damn good. This is definitely, at this point, their best album to date. Every bit of this album is just what I want to expect from my speed metal or speed thrash heavy metal, you know, just something like that. I expect it to be like, pretty much like the cover, I expect it to sound what it's supposed to be. And this album delivered the goods, the riffs, just from even the lyrics, not rocket science. If you're, I know you're probably not a big fan of satanic lyrics and shit like that, you know, but that shouldn't be the big point of the sound for me. The point is the riffs, the attitude, as you can hear in the background. This sound just slays. And of course, it's improvement over their past stuff, such as definitely even improvement over their debut, Satanic Metal Attack, which at times a little bit sloppy. But as each album went by, you saw progression within the riffage mostly, and with the compositions. Everything about this album is pretty much, it just lead up to this. This is pretty much to me their magnum opus. It's a killer album from Baphomet's Blood. And of course I do have to also talk about the last track, Elig. It's a cover of an old Hungarian metal band from the 80s. It only released about a 7-inch single, and it was titled, I think, Elig. They took these Italian band, these guys, they took this so crazy as obscure track, translated the lyrics, and gave it their own spin. And at times I almost say it's a little better than the original version, even though the original version is great. But Baphomet's Blood just really take it to the whole next step, and it's a great fitting end for the album. And it's probably the most hard rockin' song of the album. It's very, I think, just the pacing, it's a fucking great album, and it's why I think it deserved the #1 slot for my list. And it's still, like, again, when I first listened to it, I couldn't get enough of it. And even to this day, every time I put that album on, it still ends up doing, it really does it. Because after the album, you're freaking whiplashed. It's just a solid album and one of their best. So, and of course the production. Oh my god, production's fucking awesome on this album. It's got the drumming and the bass drums, and on here it just fucking bashes you around like a baseball bat. It's probably enough to put a bull into submission. Freaking great album. I definitely highly recommend this album enough. I can't recommend it enough. There you have it. This is my top 40 best rock and metal albums of 2016. What a great, in some ways, it was actually a good year. I don't think it was nearly as great as 2015 or 14, but we still got a lot of cool releases, and still, I can't wait to also see all the other lists from this year. You know, I can't, end of the year list, shit like that. I can't wait. Also, again, this might be the last video you will see from me from 2016 until 2017, which from there on, I can't wait to see you all in 2017, hoping that 2016 ends up being a much better year. Not because of, so I can expect good releases, all because of all around 2016 was a pretty bad year for aging hard rockers and metalheads and everything. Deaths. Let's hope we don't see a whole lot of deaths in 2017. Definitely hoping for that. So, that's my New Year's resolution as well. No more deaths. No more. So, hope you enjoyed the list. My voice is getting shot right now. So, until then, this is Heavy Flasher Sing out. And I'll see you all in 2017.